Hi, this is Deb Brown, and I'm sitting here with Joyce Blum. Joyce, can you tell me a little bit about how the Franklin County Arts Council got started?
Very simple. The Iowa Arts Council, for a few years in the early 70s, sent artists around the state to different towns for the schools. They called it Artists in the Schools program. The first one we had in Hampton was golly, her name is McDowell. I think it was Julie McDowell, author, a children's author from Davenport, Iowa. She came, and the artists in the school spend a week because they go to all the different classes, give the children an idea, and they usually go to all 12 grades, and they give the children a feeling of what it is to be an author, or if they're a painter, or whatever art that they do. And I was really thrilled with what she did, because I'd gone to visit school. I'd been on the school board and realized that this was a great program, I thought, for the schools. And I got to thinking, I hosted her in my home, and got to thinking, wouldn't it be nice if she could give programs to other people in the county, if we would have a little group that would like to hear the artists in the schools every month and host the artists while they're here. And so I got a group together, and I think I called a bunch to the library one day, and they thought it was a good idea, so we got an idea, let's have an arts council and promote the arts. And so that's the simple beginning of it.
Now tell me, Joyce, do you remember what year that was?
I'm sure it was in the 70s. There's no question about that. I could call the Iowa Arts Council and find out when they started it, because I'm sure they have good records.
You could look it up in the
newspapers,
office, I think, to see when the corporation papers were filed.
Lee did the incorporation of the Arts Council, so I'm sure.
Right.
Well, tell me, do you remember who some of those first members were?
Oh my goodness, yes. Jim Davies' older brother, Bob Davies, just stood right up like Jim does for things, and he was our treasurer right off the bat. And Rosemary Ruska was interested in arts, and we did some painting together, and we had a little painting club earlier in the 70s of just women that liked to do watercolor. And so there was that group. There were, well, let's see, Bob Davies is not with us anymore, and neither is Rosemary. Who are some of the others? It was, Ken Anderson was great. Ken Anderson helped a lot with the painting groups. And there was a Gallagher, the boy that was the photographer at the time. He's not here anymore. Do you remember that name, Lee?
He was a photographer with the Chronicle?
No, he had his own private photography shop in Hampton. Well, anyway, there are a few left around Hampton that were in on the beginnings. It was a little bit before Leon. And Leon and Brian have been so fantastic with the Arts Council. We had so many people in every group that helped. And we had the whole top floor of the City Hall. And the City Hall was wonderful. We had a kiln, potter's wheel. I taught pottery making to young children, just hand. So we had classes for children, we had classes for adults, and in all kinds of the arts. It was amazing how many, excuse me, how many people were involved, and it was quite exciting. And I just felt terrible when the dance group, by the way, is still going. A little bit. Nina Esslinger did it. Oh, she is around, and she did the whole thing for the dance. And the choral group, Mary Lou Semler directed. She's still around, and she directed the first choral group, and it's still going. Every Christmas they have a good concert.
Thank you, Joyce.